Hello, wrestling fans, YouTubers, and to my subscribers. This is Hollywood Eric 86. I normally don't come on here before a big pay-per-view because I have my big pay-per-view and rant and reaction, which I will do tonight. And I will not wait as long as I did for Fastlane, and I apologize for that. But tonight, fans, it's a bit somber for me because due to my schedule, I wasn't able to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony all the way through. But I heard some stuff from one of my subscribers, and I tuned back in to watch it, and I got done with it about an hour or two ago, but it was hard to process what had happened. As everybody knows, the man himself, the icon, and the franchise of WCW, Sting, was inducted into the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. And there was a lot of rumors for months going on, even last month, that Sting had retired. And then Sting went on TMZ when they found him and said, "No, I'm just rehabbing. I'm not retiring." You know, it was great news to hear because he was the final link to my childhood in WCW growing up, because back before there was Raw and Nitro and I had to choose on what ones I had, there was weekend programming where I could enjoy both. Although I did prefer WCW due to Sting, and I did watch WWE because they had Hogan. But I'm a wrestling fan in general, as everybody knows, as I've already explained, or as people that know me will tell you. And he was the final link from my childhood, from the NWA/WCW to now. And when he got inducted, becoming the second active wrestler ever to be inducted behind my other hero, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the leader of the Horsemen, and the only 16-time world champion. I will continue to say that because everybody knows why. He became the second active wrestler. But what is somber to me is that he took that night, just a little bit ago, earlier last night, to formally say that he was retiring. Now, if my voice breaks up and I cry, I apologize. I'm not really a crier because I don't like to show emotion a lot on camera, but I just feel, a lot of things I feel. One of them is anger, and I'm not going to go into that because it's not about that now, but I will elaborate a little. I only feel that Vince only signed him just to kill whatever remnant of WCW was left because of what he did at 31 and the proceeding towards that. But that's all I'm going to say for that, because that's a debate for another day. And I will do that. And all I want to say is the other part of me felt extreme sadness because all of my childhood memories and my teenage years and the last part of my adult life since the time I was 20, or 18 if you want to put it for an adult, the last 9 years of my adult life has been Sting. And in 2006, when I turned 20, he was just about ready to come out of his, going into his 2-month exile to go beat Jeff Jarrett's ass at Bound for Glory. It was leading into that at that point in time for the NWA title. So Sting's been a part of my life the whole 29 years I've been on this earth. I even watched him a little bit in the UWF because certain affiliates back then had it. But, I've watched Sting my whole life, and I just, all of it just came flooding back. And I didn't know what it meant, like I had said, until he formally said that he was going to take that time to retire. As everybody knows, and if anybody wants proof, I can show you. I met the man when I was a 3-year-old child in St. Louis, Missouri, at the original Kiel Auditorium where the Scott Trade Center stands. Currently now, the front building of the old hall is still there, but the building where the Scott Trade Center is built on was where the old Kiel Auditorium used to be. I met the man there when I was 3 years old. I got the picture up on top of my stand to prove it. And if anybody ever wants proof, I will gladly show you. Because that's an accomplishment and a greatness that I will always remember from my childhood. That is what linked me to that man my entire life. Sting has been an influence on my life to never give up on heroes. Because in 1996, when I was a 9.5-year-old kid, when Hogan turned and joined the NWO and did his Hollywood Hogan persona, I was very mad. I cried. Because I was a Hulkamaniac as I was a Stinger, a little Stinger. But I was 9.5 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an emotional type guy, as everybody knows from my rants and reactions and, what I say about wrestling. But back then, I was 9.5. The only thing I could do was cry, because back then, I didn't understand what wrestling was. I always felt wrestling was real. And I still do to a point think it is. That's why I don't like that sports entertainment garbage. I like the word wrestling, because I don't give a shit if it's taboo or not, Vince. It's wrestling. But to go back on the point, Sting made me believe that there was still a hero when he went on there and told Hogan that you had the audacity to trash every single little kid that ever believed in you. And then they pulled the ultimate coup by blaming Sting for being in the NWO, and Sting vanished without a trace. And when he returns, he comes back as the infamous Crow gimmick. And he set WCW on its ear for 1.5 years because he never wrestled. And when he finally got the match with Hogan, and he finally got his hands on him, and he raised that WCW title high above his head, I believed in heroes again. I had to earn that pay-per-view, fans. You had no idea the work I had to go through in school just to earn that pay-per-view. And I got this, and I'm one of the lucky ones back then as a child who couldn't buy pay-per-views then to actually say I saw that Starrcade. And people can say what they want about that event. I don't care. That was a moment for me that I will forever remember. And then when he had to get the belt taken from him due to controversy and got the chance to step in the ring with Hogan again 2 months later, and he beat him again, it just made my day to know that Sting still had it. And then when WCW closed, when Vince bought it, I never thought in a million years I would ever see Sting again until an upstart promotion that was independent at the time called Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, or NWA TNA at that point, brought in Sting for certain appearances. And for the next 11 years, he would set that company on fire, becoming a 5-time World Heavyweight Champion. 1 NWA, 4 TNA, and even won in their tag team titles. He almost came to WWE in 2011, but he stayed loyal to TNA. Because we could have had the match then, ladies and gentlemen. But he decided to stay. And when he finally comes, he set the wrestling world on fire. People were talking for weeks about that. I really wish I had my own channel at that point, because I would have given you the reaction of a lifetime, the same way I gave it when AJ Styles walked into the doors of the WWE at the Royal Rumble, because I blew the roof off of my own place where I currently live now. That was a phenomenal moment for me. It was one of the all-time best in my life, because that was the one man that represented and embodied what WCW meant to finally walk into Vince's doors and kick it down and says, listen, fuckers, I'm here. And although I made debate on whether his career in WWE was crap, the fact is, the time he was there, it was one of the funnest times I ever had watching TV, because I finally got the chance to see the franchise himself of WCW walk into the doors and look Hunter in the face and say, hey, bitch, I can take you on anytime I want. He took it raw and pointed at him and challenged him personally. When Hunter's balls wasn't there anymore. Maybe he's the reason Hunter's starting to have them now. Who knows? But I just wanted to come on here tonight and this morning before I go and do what I need to today, because you will see me tonight for my WrestleMania rant and reaction. I apologize for I didn't do the roadblock one. My special guest wasn't free, and when he told me that he would be ready to do this rant at the end of WrestleMania with me, fans, I'm telling you, my rant will come and my special guest will be on here for the WrestleMania rant and reaction tonight after the event, and I'm going to ask him the Fastlane question before we get to the rant, so I'm going to tell you ahead of time. We're going to talk a little bit about the main event of Fastlane before we get to the pay-per-view results. But stay tuned, fans. I will have him on here. He is a professional YouTuber, so his time is only free when need be. That's why I couldn't do the roadblock rant. So when he said WrestleMania, I waited. Because you, my YouTube subscribers, and the people that watch my videos, and I thank you to everybody that does for the high views I get, even though I've only been on here a little bit. I thank you for the high views count that I get, between 20 to 30 views. I really appreciate it. But you stay tuned for that. But on a personal note to this subject, Sting, I love you. I respect you. You will forever be indebted in my life, and I will never, ever forget you. You will forever be one of my all-time favorites, and I will always remember your career, because your career is interconnected with my life. I met you. I got to honestly say I'm one of the rare people in life to actually get to sit and meet you one-on-one. As a 3-year-old child, that is a night I will never forget. And when you step foot in WWE, I honestly think it was destiny that the wrestling gods above kept that night for me to wait for you to debut 25 years and 1 month after I met you at the very site of the building the Scott Trade Center sits on for you to debut. I honestly think that was that right was reserved for me to physically see it in the city I met you, and for that I thank you. I love you and I respect and I love you and I love your 30 years in this business. Sting, thank you for 30 wonderful years in the wrestling industry, and for me 29 and a half, because I got to live it alongside you and be the little Stinger and chant and pound my chest and get to stand there alongside you through everything, through the Surfer Sting, the Crow Sting, the Wolfpack Sting, your Joker Sting in TNA, and even when you came back as a hybrid Crow in the WWE. For that I am indebted. I love you. Thank you, Sting. And you will ever be remembered in my life as one of the all-time legends. And now I can call you a Hall of Famer, because you're not only in one, you're in two, buddy. You're in TNA Hall of Fame and the WWE. And I thank you for everything. Am I disappointed that you chose to retire? Yes. But that's a debate for another day, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But tonight I'm here to celebrate you and to be happy. And fans, just tune in to my WrestleMania rant. My special guest will be on here, and I will ask him the Fastlane main event question that I was going to ask him before about how he felt. So stay tuned. And tonight I will be watching WrestleMania, so beware of my rant. Fans, thank you for giving me. Fans, thank you for allowing my videos to get pretty decent views. So I will see you later tonight. Sting, we love you. I love you. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame ceremony and you being in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on a wonderful career. I wish you well in whatever you choose to do, and I hope that you continually walk with God. And I don't mean to be religion, but you're a born again Christian. I wanted to put that out there. Thank you, and I love you. And for everybody else, stay tuned for my rant later tonight. I love you all. This is Hollywood Eric 86. See ya.